Hey, I'm Jessica, a 28-year-old who's just been through a whirlwind of emotions. Let me tell you about a day that was supposed to be filled with joy, but turned into one of the most shocking moments of my life. It was a sunny afternoon, and the living room buzzed with excitement. Family and friends gathered as Tom and I prepared to share some big news. Laughter and chatter filled the air, and the decorations fluttered in the light breeze coming through the open windows. So everyone, Tom began with a wide grin, his arm wrapped around me. We're thrilled to announce we're expecting a boy. Cheers erupted, glasses clinked, and warm congratulations enveloped us. I couldn't stop smiling, my hand resting on my belly as I felt a kick. Our little one already seemed to know this celebration was for him. But suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. I noticed Ryan, Tom's brother, stiffen across the room. His usually calm face twisted in barely concealed anger. "Why does it have to be a boy?" Ryan muttered loud enough for those nearby, including me, to hear. His fists clenched at his sides. "Ryan, what's wrong?" I asked, a nervous chuckle escaping as I tried to ease the tension. "It's just a baby. Our baby." "Just a baby that might take everything," Ryan snapped, stepping closer, his voice rising with each word. "You think I don't see what this means? That boy will get everything. Money, the business, the inheritance, everything." Tom moved forward, protective. "Calm down, Ryan. You're being ridiculous. He's just a baby, our first joy." But Ryan wasn't listening. His eyes, dark with fury, were locked on me. "No, I won't let that happen." Before anyone could react, Ryan lunged. The room gasped as his hand struck my belly. The pain was sharp, more from shock than force. I stumbled backward into Tom's arms, the room erupting around us. "What are you doing?" Tom roared, holding me steady. "Are you insane?" Ryan stood there, breathing heavily, his hand still raised. Slowly, the reality of what he'd done sank in. The expressions around the room shifted from shock to disgust. I couldn't find my words. The sting of the hit lingered, but fear for my baby overwhelmed me. I need to go to the hospital," I whispered, tears threatening to fall. Tom's face was grim as he nodded. "We're leaving now." As he guided me out, the last thing I saw was Ryan being held back by two uncles, his face a mix of anger and regret. The ride to the hospital was the longest of my life, every moment filled with dread until the doctors finally assured us the baby was fine. But something inside me had changed. The attack wasn't just a betrayal, it was a wake-up call. Sitting in that sterile hospital room, the joy of our earlier announcement was tainted by violence. Tom and I both knew things would never be the same. Ryan had crossed a line, one that couldn't be ignored. "Are you sure you're ready to talk about this now?" Tom's voice was soft as he sat beside me in the hospital corridor, his hand finding mine. "I have to, Tom, before I lose my nerve. What if next time the baby isn't okay?" My voice trembled, but my resolve was building. "Okay," he said gently. "I'm with you, whatever you need." Pulling out my phone, I dialed the non-emergency number for the local police. The line clicked. "Police department, how can I help you?" "I need to report an assault. It happened about an hour ago at a family event. My brother-in-law hit me. I'm pregnant." "Are you in a safe location now?" the dispatcher asked. "Yes, I'm at the hospital." "Understood. We'll send an officer to take your statement. Can you provide the hospital address?" After giving the details, I hung up, the weight of my decision settling in. It was real now, officially reported. "We'll need a restraining order too," Tom said, already scrolling through his phone. "I don't want Ryan anywhere near you or the baby." "Yeah," I agreed, disbelief still clinging to me. "I can't believe he'd go this far, all over inheritance." Tom shook his head. We've all seen him get keyed up over money. His voice trailed off, his anger palpable. As we sat in the sterile hospital room, an officer arrived, a young woman with kind eyes. "I'm Officer Martinez. I'm here to take your statement," she said, pulling out a notepad. As I recounted the events, Officer Martinez listened intently, her pen scratching across the paper. Tom interjected occasionally, his tone sharp with barely suppressed anger. Once I finished, she closed her notebook and nodded. "We'll handle it from here. We might need you to come in to provide further details or formally identify him if it goes to court." "Thank you, officer." "We appreciate it," Tom says, his voice calmer now. After the officer leaves, Tom and I head to another part of the hospital to file for a temporary restraining order. The process is bureaucratic, filled with paperwork and signatures, a stark contrast to the emotional storm swirling inside me. Once this is filed, he'll be served by tomorrow. He won't be able to come near you or contact you. The clerk explains as we hand in the completed forms. Walking back to the car, the air feels heavier, as if every step is both a retreat from danger and a step into an uncertain future. "You think he'll fight it?" I murmur, watching the sunset paint the sky a bruised purple. "He might," Tom replies, squeezing my hand. "But we'll be ready. We have to protect our little guy." As we drive home, the silence isn't empty. It's thick with the weight of decisions made. It's the beginning of a battle we never wanted to fight. But when Tom reaches over to squeeze my hand again, I feel strength, ours together. A few days later, over coffee, Aunt Linda sits across from me, her eyes pleading. "Can't you just let it go for the family's sake? It was a one-time thing. He didn't mean it." I look at her, incredulous. "This wasn't just a minor slip-up, Linda. He attacked me while I'm pregnant. What if he does it again? What if next time the baby isn't unharmed? But he's family," she insists. "Family sticks together, right? Sticking together doesn't mean allowing abuse to go unchecked. The divide within the family grows as the case moves forward." Uncle Joe, firm over the phone, stands by me. "Listen, Jess, what Ryan did is inexcusable. You're doing the right thing. It's just hard, being the one to stir things up." "It's not stirring things up to demand justice," Joe reminds me. "Meetings with lawyers and endless paperwork consume our days." Our attorney, Mr. Evans, is a seasoned man with a no-nonsense attitude. They might try to paint Ryan as a victim of momentary anger. Be prepared for that. How you respond in court will be crucial. Will they drag my past into this, try to make me look bad? I ask, anxiety gnawing at my stomach. "It's possible," Mr. Evans says, "but stick to the facts. Your emotional response is powerful, but your calm recollection of events will carry more weight." The day of the trial, the courtroom is tense. Ryan sits across from me, composed but cold. The sight of him still sends a shiver down my spine. When I take the stand, the prosecutor starts, "Can you tell us what happened on the day in question?" I recount the events, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. The murmurs in the courtroom fade as I focus on the weight of my story. During cross-examination, Ryan's lawyer tries to shift the narrative. "Isn't it true that your family has had issues with inheritance disputes?" "Yes, I admit, but that doesn't justify violence, especially against a pregnant woman, or anyone, for that matter." The courtroom is silent as the prosecutor thanks me. No further questions. Outside, the community's reaction begins to surface. Social media buzzes with opinions ranging from supportive to hostile. "Stay strong, Jess, we're with you," one comment reads. Another criticizes, "Should have kept family matters private." Local news outlets pick up the story, reporters milling outside the courthouse. I hesitate, but decide to speak, stepping forward to address them. This isn't just about me, I say, my voice steady. It's about standing up against violence, no matter where it comes from, even if it's family. As the trial progresses, Ryan's defense weakens. The evidence is undeniable, and the testimony is poignant. The community's support feels like a lifeline, keeping me afloat amidst the storm of public scrutiny. As the final arguments are made, I sit beside Tom, his hand gripping mine tightly. The jury leaves to deliberate, and the weight of their decision looms over us like a heavy cloud. Inside me, a fire builds, a mix of fear, anger, and a fierce hope for justice. All rise, the bailiff calls out, and the courtroom echoes with the sound of shuffling feet as the judge re-enters. This is the moment of truth. The tension is palpable as everyone takes their seats. The judge surveys the room, her gaze briefly resting on me before turning to address the court. Defendant Ryan, please stand. Ryan rises, uncertainty replacing the arrogance he once displayed. Having reviewed the case and the evidence presented, I find you guilty of assault, the judge announces. This court sentences you to 3 years of probation and mandatory anger management therapy. You are also ordered to adhere to a permanent restraining order prohibiting any contact with Jessica. A collective breath is released throughout the courtroom. Some, like Tom and Uncle Joe, exhale in satisfaction, while others, like Aunt Linda, shake their heads, still conflicted by family ties. Thank you, Your Honor, I say, my voice barely above a whisper, grateful that justice has been served. As the gavel bangs, signaling the end of the trial, Ryan is led away, his head bowed. The family is divided, some not in agreement with the verdict, while others still struggle to accept it. Outside the courthouse, Tom pulls me into a tight embrace, the fresh air feeling like a release from the weight we've carried for so long. We did it, Jess. It's over. How do you feel? It's a relief, I admit, but it's also sad. It's not just about winning the case. It's about everything we've lost. The family is torn apart. Yeah, but we stood up for what's right, Tom says, his voice steady. For our family, for our son. He'll grow up knowing that. As we walk toward the car, I glance back at the courthouse, its stoic bricks a silent witness to our turmoil. Later, at home, we sit together with cups of tea, the baby kicking as if he, too, senses the shift in our lives. Tom pulls out a tiny blue jumper from a bag, a soft smile on his face. I got this for our little champ, he says. He's going to need it, growing up so loved and protected. He really is, I agree, a lighter feeling settling in. Protected, loved, and maybe that's what matters most out of all this. We've given him a safer, healthier start. Yes, and we've learned a lot too, Tom adds. About boundaries, about standing up for ourselves. As the day turns into evening, I reflect on the past months, the legal battle, the family strife, the moments of doubt when I wondered if standing up was worth the personal cost. Do you think things will ever get back to normal with your family? Tom asks, his voice a mix of hope and realism. Maybe not the old normal, I reply thoughtfully, but we'll find a new way forward. Some bridges have been burned, but maybe they needed to be to protect our future. We'll build better ones for him, I say, gesturing to my belly, and for us. As we prepare for bed, the weight of the trial finally lifted. There's a sense of closure. Yet it's mixed with the realization that this is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter for our family. Good night, Jess, Tom whispers. Love you. Love you too, Tom, and thanks for everything. As I drift off to sleep, the challenges of the past blend with hopes for the future. Tomorrow will be about moving forward, about joy and anticipation for the new life we're about to welcome. The scars of the ordeal will heal with time, and the strength and lessons we've gained will guide us as we navigate this world together, fortified by our trials. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think pursuing legal action against family members is justified in situations like this, even if it might lead to permanent family risks? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the story, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your support helps us keep bringing these stories to life.